The Saqqara ancient Egyptian necropolis is where legendary archaeologist Zahi Hawass is located. Additionally, he is about to make yet another stunning discovery. He carefully lifts the massive lid of a stone sarcophagus that has been in use for more than 4,000 years with the assistance of his team members. In January 2023, a press conference will finally reveal what he finds inside and other amazing finds from an entire year of excavation. Additionally, it will excite people everywhere. Archaeologists were astonished by a peculiar feature of the ancient Egyptian mummy that had been discovered inside the tomb. For archaeologists like Dr. Hawass over the years, this Saqqara burial complex has provided a rich harvest of ancient tombs and artifacts. The 5-mile-long site is on the edge of the desert about 20 miles south of Cairo, Egypt's modern capital. In addition to the numerous tombs, Saqqara is home to more than a dozen pyramids, the most well-known of which is the Step Pyramid. This impressive structure was constructed by Pharaoh Djoser in the 27th century BC during the Old Kingdom in ancient Egypt. According to historians, this pyramid was the first to be constructed by Egyptian rulers, as enormous mausoleums for their own use after death. Saqqara, which appreciates UNESCO World Legacy assignment, is currently a profoundly valued archaeological site that is a significant piece of Egyptian nationhood and character. However, that was not always the case. The underground complex of tunnels and tombs was targeted by looters looking for valuable artifacts for a considerable amount of time. Some even used ancient mummies as fertilizer. During the 19th century, tourists searched the tombs for souvenirs. In point of fact, Saqqara was and remains a secondary attraction, despite its wealth of archaeological remains. Behind the famous Luxor tombs, 300 miles to the south, and the Giza Great Pyramids, which are nearby. Until 1850, the ancient necropolis received little serious study. That's when Auguste Mariette, a French archaeologist, showed up. He established the Egyptian Antiquities Service and served as its first director. Mariette's reaction when he first went to survey Saqqara was mentioned in Smithsonian magazine. He described the scene as a stunning display of total destruction. However, under his supervision, a number of remarkable finds were discovered. The Serapeum is one of these, and it is a stunning temple that houses a collection of sacred bull statues. Additionally, there was the ceremonial road known as the Avenue of the Sphinxes, which led to the temple complex. Saqqara has produced an extraordinary inventory of ancient treasures ever since the middle of the 19th century. From the time of the pharaohs to the Romans, the location served as a burial ground for 3 millennia. Amazing finds are still being made by archaeologists. And the most recent of those was made public by an expert named Dr. Hawass, who was once Egypt's Minister of Antiquities. Founded in 1947. For many years, Dr. Hawass has been a controversial force of nature in the field of ancient Egyptian archaeology. Dr. Hawass was also a strong supporter of using the most recent technology to unlock the often opaque secrets of ancient Egyptian life, regardless of the truth of those accusations, as Britannica pointed out. He was praised for reclaiming Egyptology for decades. He advocated using CAT scans to gain new understanding of some of the mummies that his team had discovered. For instance, advances in science and technology contributed to the discovery that the pharaoh Tutankhamun most likely succumbed to bone disease and malaria-related complications. However, in January 2023, Dr. Hall made a significant announcement of numerous new discoveries in Saqqara, including previously unknown tombs. These finds had emerged over the course of a year of excavations, and the expert took to Instagram to make the most recent discoveries public. They existed between about 2500 BCE and 2100 BCE, during the Old Kingdom's 5th and 6th dynasties, the final resting place of a priest who lived during the 5th dynasty of ancient Egypt, which lasted about 140 years, starting in 2465 BCE, was found in one of the newly discovered tombs. Dr. Hall wrote about the most important person to belong to come in an Instagram post, Jedef, a priest in the Anis Pyramid complex. He also mentioned another grave, adding that Merit, an official in the royal palace, had the second largest tomb. According to the Live Science website, hieroglyphics in Jeff's tomb showed his official position as a servant to Pharaoh Anis, who ruled from about 2353 BC to 2323 BC. Jedef Canham held the title of Inspector of Officials, which sounds like a high-ranking position. Wall paintings depicting scenes from daily life in ancient Egypt adorned his tomb. Dr. Hawass's post went on to say that we also discovered a priest's tomb with 9 beautiful statues in the King Pipi I pyramid complex. A fake door that was discovered close to the statues suggests that the owner of these two might be known as Messi. One of the statues actually showed Messi and his wife, who was also buried in the tomb, while others showed servants. Dr. Hall went on to describe a 30-foot-deep shaft that had been discovered during the excavation and contained a group of lovely wooden statues. 3 stone statues of a person named Fetek were also discovered. Another Egyptologist, Francesco Tierra-Dretti, who was not a member of the expedition team, provided some insight into the new discoveries by placing an offering table inside. A stone sarcophagus that contained his mummy next to these statues. According to the Live Science website, Dr. Tierra-Dretti of the main Italian University of Anas said that the paintings that were found in Jeff's tomb were interesting for learning about the development of Egyptian art. The professor went on to say that the Egyptian mission that was found in the necropolis may be related to Anas's pyramid in his cult. Anas was the last pharaoh to rule during the 5th dynasty, so these finds may shed light on the transition to the next era. When Anas passed away, he was succeeded to the throne by the first pharaoh of the 6th dynasty TD. Because he was not Anas's son, he did not inherit the throne through royal blood. Agency, Dr. Hall was remembered as soon as the team opened the sarcophagus lid. Considering the sarcophagus is over 25-ton weight and limestone construction, the lid alone is about 5 tons in weight. This wasn't an easy job. Dr. Corridor was told, "Wagya put my head inside to see what was inside the stone coffin. A lovely mummy of a man totally canvassed in layers of gold." The gold-covered mummy in the sarcophagus had once been a man named Pekachips on Instagram Drive, according to hieroglyphic writing. How was it that a gold leaf-covered sarcophagus contained a mummy? It's possible that this mummy is the oldest and most complete one ever discovered in Egypt. His words caused some confusion, as various media accounts claimed that it was the oldest mummy ever discovered. In point of fact, that is not the case, and Dr. Hollis was not intending to say that. In an email to Live Science, he clarified the misunderstanding. The oldest complete mummy has been covered in gold, and Dr. Howe wrote an important distinction and truth about it. The oldest Egyptian mummy, according to the website, was found 6,000 years before the pharaoh's reign began. Dr. Hall believes that Pekachips must have been a wealthy man, which seems like a fair bet considering that he was covered in gold leaf before being laid to rest in his massive limestone sarcophagus some 4,300 years ago. We don't know much about this man, given that he was wrapped in all of the gold after his death, despite the fact that all he has seen are images of impressive shipwrecks. Dr. Tierra-Dretti pointed out that the mummy wasn't encased in bandages like many do, rather, it was dressed. Dr. Terra already had some ideas about the mummy. He appears to have been wearing a tunic with a large necklace and belt. The expert speculated that this might have been done with the intention of keeping as much of the deceased person's living appearance as possible. He went on to say that this factor might make it easier to comprehend the ancient Egyptian religion. In point of fact, the sensational ancient Egyptian find that was revealed in January 2023 was not the only exciting announcement regarding the discovery of the gold leaf-covered mummy. The fascinating results of digital scans of the mummy of an adolescent male known as the Golden Boy also made the news. In point of fact, this mummy was not covered in gold, rather it was buried with 49 amulets, many of which are gold and a golden mask. Since its discovery in 1916 at Luxor, this 2,300-year-old mummy had been stored in the basement of Cairo's Egyptian Museum without being examined. The Golden Boy's buried amulets likely serve a specific purpose, assisting him on his way to the afterlife. One of the researchers involved in the scanning project spoke with the website Business Insider about the role of amulets. A radiologist named Saver Salim from Cairo University's Faculty of Medicine explained that ancient Egyptians believed in the power of amulets, which depended on their material color and shape. While placing amulets inside the mummy or between the wrappings, the embalmers prayed and recited passages from the Book of the Dead. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a thing.